Tonight on BBC London News, the mayor's forced to cancel his trip to the West Bank because of security fears after making these undiplomatic comments about suggested Israeli boycotts.
I reject completely the suggestion by some corduroy-jacketed, snaggle-toothed lefty academics.
We look at the impact of the mayor's comments on his political ambitions back home. Also tonight... Good evening and welcome to the programme. I'm Alice Bandukravi. Boris Johnson's tour of the Middle East has ended in controversy tonight after he was forced to pull out of parts of a visit to the West Bank. It came after the mayor made what some have called disrespectful comments about people who support boycotts of Israeli goods and institutions. Some Palestinian groups today refused to meet him, whilst other events were cancelled because of security risks. Our political correspondent Carl Mercer reports from Jerusalem.
It was a day that had started well, the mayor visiting some of Jerusalem's holiest sites.
Hello, Boris Johnson. How do you do, Mayor of London?
Amidst high security, he visited Christianity's Church of the Holy Sepulchre, Islam's Dome of the Rock, and then Judaism's Wailing Wall.
If you ask me what I pray for, what everybody wants is to see peace and reconciliation.
Folks in London, whether it's the Jewish community in Finchley or the Muslim community in Whitechapel or the clerics in Lambeth Palace, they understand themselves based on what's happening here. And if there's going to be a hemorrhaging interface between Judaism, Christianity and Islam in Jerusalem, you're going to be feeling that in London.
But the tensions here are never far from the surface. If this trip is about putting the mayor on the international diplomatic stage, he got a very clear lesson today about what that might mean, and a very simple one. An Israeli journalist who's part of this media tour has been refused permission to go to an event organised by a Palestinian group in the West Bank. And within half an hour, as he drove to the Palestinian-controlled West Bank, it got a whole lot worse. This is where the mayor's planned visit to the West Bank has come to a grinding halt, this hotel here in Ramallah. He had been due today to travel across Ramallah, meeting community groups, business leaders and youth projects. But they decided they didn't want to meet, angry at the mayor's opposition to a campaign which wants to boycott Israel.
I reject completely the suggestion by some corduroy-jacketed, snaggle-toothed lefty academics in the UK.
It left the media party, the security team and the mayor holed up in a hotel in Ramallah.
We're determined to come here, even though it is quite a difficult time at the moment, and there's a lot of tension. I think that some people have obviously taken remarks that I made about the boycott as after all British government policy, and they took an offence at that, and that's being very much whipped up on social media.
The mayor did get to meet the Palestinian Prime Minister, but behind closed doors. A day that had started with high hopes ended in a convoy back to Jerusalem.
As ever, Boris has walked along with a pack of gelignite. When David Cameron carries gelignite, he gingerly tiptoes across it. Boris has been juggling the gelignite, and unfortunately it's blown up in his face. Boris has come out here trying to look like a statesman, and unfortunately he's looked like someone who's not yet ready for that role, and there will be people in Downing Street in certainly number 11 and possibly even in number 10 who will be stifling a smirk this evening.
Opposing a boycott is actually UK government policy, but should the mayor perhaps have chosen his words more carefully? Not necessarily about the policy, which I think you say that the Palestinian Prime Minister agrees with, more about the way you put it, and it seemed flippant perhaps.
I think it was very, very clear from the conversation that I've just had with the Prime Minister of the Palestinian Authority that he does not support a boycott of Israel. He doesn't think that is the way forward. I think what you've got is elements here who do think that's the way forward, who are very vociferous in that, and who want to make a point, and they are using this as a pretext to make that point.
The mayor says he's learnt much on this trip. Today may have been a lesson he wasn't expecting. Carl Mercer, BBC London News in Jerusalem.
Well, for more now on this row, we can talk to our political editor, Tim Donovan, who's in Westminster. Tim, how do you think this affects Boris Johnson's political ambitions?
Well, there hasn't been a huge amount of reaction today so far, partly because Westminster is not politically active. It's in recess at the moment, so there haven't been MPs rushing to the airwaves, and the opposition parties at City Hall have not got involved. And it's quite difficult from here yet to see the impact of this, because it's hard to see what the mood is in the mayor's team and among diplomats there and among the Palestinian communities. But on the face of it, you know, the facts speak for themselves, that here was an itinerary that would have been very carefully crafted with the input of diplomats out there, which balances the Israeli and Palestinian communities, and the Palestinian leg of that has fallen apart. And so there's likely, I would have thought, to have been dismay among the diplomats over there. Now Boris Johnson is saying this is just British UK policy, and suggesting that it is social media and what social media have done with this that's the issue. But you'll know it is, of course, not just what you say, but how you say it, and whether what you say is capable of being interpreted in a way, or capable of provoking something that matters. And perhaps on that basis, people will be saying, or diplomats will be saying, he's failed that test of diplomacy.
OK, Tim Donovan, thanks very much for that.